Mark, I recently found out my husband of 10 years had an affair last year. Can you give insight on why a man with two beautiful daughters, a decent marriage, thriving business, and supportive family might choose to have an affair? Well, here's the deal. I don't know that you actually had a decent marriage. There's so many relationships that people think are great. Look at all these people who are married for like 75 years who fucking hate each other. They don't talk about anything. They don't actually acknowledge the truth of what's going on. They don't actually pay attention to each other. All these different things. And then they're like, I don't know why they left. Can you believe this? Now, I'm not saying that's true for you, but I would say that there's a deeper truth here. People cheat for many reasons. Cheating is a way of sabotaging things. It's often people cheat to leave things because they know it'll be a valid reason to leave. And most people can't just say, I want to leave this marriage or this relationship, because we'll shame them and throw them in a tank and say you don't deserve to find love again. So there's many reasons people cheat. People cheat to get attention. There's people who leave relationships with ever actually leaving them. So what they do is they starve their partner of connection, and then they wonder why their partner went and had an affair. So all of these things are valid. It's just that betrayal, affairs, are incredibly challenging for people to hear about, or even think that, hey, if you cheated, it doesn't make you the villain all the time. That's the first thing to know, is we're all capable of doing things like that. We're all capable of lying. We're all capable of cheating. We're just so terrified of that part of ourselves. It's the same part of ourselves, that can be deviant sexually, because we don't turn towards our sexual selves. We hide in the shadows our sexuality. We put in a thing on Craigslist, like looking to get pooped on. We do all these different ways because we're so afraid to turn towards the truth. And so when I think about, like, why did someone have an affair who has two daughters, a decent marriage, and a thriving business, a supportive family? Maybe because they felt trapped, because often we're trapped in our lives. I'm not saying there's right or wrong, right? It's just people choose behaviors to try to get out of things, to try to sabotage things, to try to be seen, to try to get attention. It's like when a child misbehaves in order to get attention. What they do is that they see is that when they misbehave, they get attention. They seek love, but they'll get love even if it means punishment, because they don't get attention otherwise. It's just like people become perfectionists and high performers because when they brought back an A, their parents said, oh my God, you got an A. I can't believe you got an A. You're so smart. And they finally got attention and love from their parent. Or their parent went, oh, an A, why not an A plus? And of course, as a kid, you're like, fuck you. Oh my God. But actually what goes on deeper is, I'm still not enough. No matter how perfect I become, no matter how much I perform, you don't see me. And so these are all just destructive adult patterns that come out. Man, is cheating and infidelity and lying and all of these things, are they destructive? Yes. Do they melt lives? Yes. I'm not saying they're right or wrong. Obviously, betrayal is wrong. But it serves a purpose in some sense. It serves a purpose, which is it brings forward truths. If we live in a world where we're participating in a relationship thinking everything's okay and everything's not actually okay, when it comes out that it's not okay, we hate that we didn't pay attention, that we were asleep, that we weren't noticing. Like, what a gift pain and grief delivers to noticing, to actually paying attention to life. Like, what a gift it brings. It just sucks. It sucks because it hurts. But here's the deal. In our society, we've taught that you shouldn't feel negative feelings. If you feel negative feelings, there's something wrong with you. If you are hurting, there's something wrong with you. But what we do with that when we chase a leading, flying emotion of positivity only is we're not grounded. We're not paying attention. If there's one thing about grief, pain, dysfunction, a life falling apart, is that you can't fly, because you can't. You might try to do it through drugs or alcohol or sex or whatever it is, but you are actually, if you stay sober in that moment, if you take a deep fucking breath, you will pay attention that there is an invitation to you to feel, to stand still, to slow down, to actually pay attention. What is actually happening around me? Who am I? Where did I come from? When did I forget about myself? These are all such important questions. When did I stop noticing the truth? Why did my husband have an affair? Why do I want to have an affair? Why did I have an affair? Why do I inappropriately text people? Why do I do this? Why am I out of integrity? What is my integrity? What matters to me in this life? All of these things are important questions. And Sometimes we start asking those questions because life went to shit. And instead of life going to shit and you going back to sleep, which you can't pretend to do, you'll have to do it through drugs, alcohol, addictions, video games, whatever your flavor is, porn. If you actually pay attention in that moment, you can wake up. Wake up to who you are, what you actually want. Most people wake up in their lifetimes realizing that they're living a life they didn't want. And my faith in humanity is high because when people hurt, they pay attention. And if there's nothing better than that, than paying attention, than actually starting to ask important questions that'll shape your life. You know, the whole thought of awakening is realizing that your soul woke up in an incarnation and went, holy fuck, this isn't my story. How do you do that when you're 45 or you're 55 and you got 2 kids and you got a whole system against you that says people who get divorced suck, people who break up suck, if your relationship falls apart, you're a disaster. None of that's actually true. You know, if it falls apart, it falls apart. If you get divorced, you get divorced. There's no judgment about that. Not from me, at least. And then maybe I'm one of the first people to give permission to people to be human, to make mistakes, to finally say, like, I don't actually know what I'm doing. Now, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to answer another question.